provider and bail agent, to talk about this thing that's going on with the teenager and the Uber carjacking case and the judge and so forth. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for taking the time. Tell me the basics of the case, if you will, please. What's going on here?
We have an individual, Jamiron Banks, an adult, 19-year-old, who is allegedly been involved in a carjacking spree in the early part of May. This individual was captured because the New Orleans Police Department was trained in our program. They were able to receive calls relative to carjackings, and they were able to go down their list of investigative tools, and one of them is to log into our system, which allows them, without unmasking any names, to determine if there were any ankle monitors on the scene of a crime. And they were able to determine that there was one. In fact, they were at the scene of 3 crimes, and they used that information to secure a warrant signed by the chief magistrate judge. And then they used our equipment to go and locate this offender, and he was hiding in an attic, allegedly with a juvenile, also on a city-run electronic monitoring device, and a gun. And after an 8-hour standoff, he was captured only after NOPD was able to use our system to obtain a search warrant for the home, proving that he was in the attic. He was captured, and then he is currently in jail. And the problem that I had with this case is we had been sending violation reports to the judge, Judge Davillere. For 83 days he was in our program. For the first month he behaved, and then he immediately began violating all day, every day. 49 violation reports were sent to her. Her response, instead of saying, oops, let me work with you, was to lash out and attack our program. She wrote a letter and sent it to the Times-Picayune, and John Zimmerman came to my house, and we sat down and we went word for word over that letter. And I provided the proof that that letter was just false. 2 things in the letter said that she specifically stated in that letter that she could not find any reports relating to the days of the carjackings. But they're there. They're there. They're time-stamped. They're immutable. They are defensible. And, you know, this has happened in the past. We've had other judges who have done this and made the terrible mistake of ignoring these violation reports. And what we received after things like news stories was the judge reaching out saying, well, look, what can I do? I want to fix this. But in this case, it didn't happen. We got attacked. And I cannot allow that, because we created this program to do one thing, to make sure that you never again circle in this blame game. In this program, we can show you details, facts, everything you need to know to make sure that you know exactly who is responsible. And I'm going to go one step farther, and I'm going to say, if what the judge put in that letter that she's not releasing, she needs to release it. If she put what she put in that letter, if it's true, then I call in the AG's office to investigate my program. Because if what she alleges is true, then I've committed a crime. And in 2024...
What is she alleging, Matt?
She alleges that she didn't receive reports. She's alleging that the reports are inadequate, that they're insufficient, that they're illegible. And the problem that she has is we don't just send her reports. We send reports to courts all over the state. Mm-hmm. We send reports to DAs all over the state. And I called around to ask, are you having difficulty? These are very easy, plain English, with supporting documents, the locations, maps, the ability to log in and go into great detail. Here's the big problem I have, Tommy, with what she read on the record. She had this gentleman that was captured in the attic in her courtroom on Tuesday, and she put on the record many false allegations, and she used the public defender's office as her backup team to show that we aren't doing our job. This is not good, because we have convictions in this state based on this program. We have the Tyree Quinn, Lundy Graham triple murder on the interstate. This man is in jail for the rest of his life, and we were credited with the first time in the history of America a person was convicted based solely on data. No witness, no gun, he didn't admit to anything. They convicted him based on our process. Nicholas Mirana is alleged to have shot 4 in the French Quarter, killing 1. And without our program, the DA has no case. And what she's done is jeopardized every past conviction and every future conviction. Look, these won't be overturned because everything she said is blatantly false. I'm going to add one more thing. As of this morning, we have the second day in a row that this judge is now responding to emails, and we haven't changed anything. Apparently now
is not or now responding. Not responding.
She is now responding. Her second day in a row, she's responding, and we haven't changed anything. So I don't know what was wrong prior, but all of a sudden everything's working fine. Look, I don't want to fight with the New Orleans judges, but we built this to end this blame game. You cannot blame anymore. Now you can figure out exactly who did it, when they did it, what they did or didn't do. And it's easy to prove this. Simply look at the juvenile in the same attic laying next to the guy in my program. Our program laid out the facts. We brought the receipts. NOPD still can't get answers on that juvenile. It is alleged that this juvenile was ordered to be removed from the juvenile program. And for whatever reason, they said he didn't come in because he was choosing to wear the device as a status symbol. That doesn't make sense. The device should still be tracking, but miraculously they have no tracking information for any of the carjacking that took place in the early part of May. This is what has been wrong historically. If you look at the juvenile program and you compare it to the adult program, there is no comparison. This judge should apologize for the things she said, or she should at least release the letter so I can respond line by line and show what she said is wrong.
The letter was sent to the Times-Picayune?
Times-Picayune. It was sent to the journalist Missy Wilkerson, and John Simmerman took the letter and he called me and read it to me, and then came to my location and we went over it. And I just like I invited you in the past, come in, sit down.
Right.
I'll show you anything you want to see.
So the letter was not published?
She has not published it, but she spoke it on the record in the court, and I have formally demanded the release of that letter, and I intend to take action to get that letter out.
So let me ask you this,
Matt. Not because I want to clear my name.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about my name. I work all over the state. One judge isn't going to upset what we're doing, but she has put so many cases in jeopardy by using this reckless language. I understand that she's upset that she didn't do her job. I understand that she failed to look at these violation reports. But this program was written to make sure that you can never have somebody pointing fingers anymore. We can lay blame at the feet of who's responsible. And I'm going to say it again. If I did something wrong, I'm in violation of the law we helped pass. The first law we passed in 2024 makes it possible to put me in jail if I don't do my job. If she alleges I didn't do my job, then I demand I be investigated. And if I didn't do my job, I demand I be arrested.
So let me ask you real quick, before we run out of time here, is she saying that she got inaccurate reports, she didn't get sufficient reports, or she got too many reports?
She is claiming that the reports are invalid, unreliable, unbelievable. Unfortunately, she's the only judge in the entire state that has that problem, the only ADA that has that problem. I think for us to address her letter, she needs to release her letter. And then everybody can see what her claims were, and I will have an opportunity to respond.
Let me get you to
respond with words.
Address this real quick. A quote here from you. It says, if he walks 100 feet away and stands on a corner, I don't care that he's close to his house. That's a violation. My obligation is to follow the court's order to the letter. And that's what you were doing, correct?
Look, I've been yelled at for letting a kid stand at his fence, because the judge said he's out there at the fence with his friends. I can't have 72 different rules. I have to have one set of rules. I got yelled at because I reported a guy that was standing at the end of his fishing dock 100 yards from his house. I have to have a judge tell me specifically what it is they want from us so we can make sure and do it the way they want it. If they want him to go fishing on his dock, tell me. We put that in the system. If he's allowed to go to work, tell me. We'll put that in the system. When I send you an email that says he's dropping his wife at work, you can't ignore it. You have to respond and say he's allowed to do that. And then you'll get no more reports. It's not our job to decide. It's our job to report and let the judge decide, and to document it so nobody can blame each other when something goes wrong.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate your time. Matt Dennis, electronic monitor provider and bail agent. We'll take a break, come back, find out what Newell's got planned for us today here on WWL.
Legendary doesn't happen by chance. It happens because it's what BetMGM does. Sign up for BetMGM and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't